कुमार स्वामी नायक है गोंगो लिबू लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की
In the news tonight, tension high in Nabua following brawl. RKS administrators to address bullying. And Nadi River dredging begins.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Atera Lendua.
Good evening, Fiji. The Fiji Police Force today held a community meeting with residents and youth from the Public Rental Board flats in Mead Road, Nabua. This follows a violent brawl yesterday involving up to 20 people, which landed 2 men in hospital and took 50 police officers to control. Lena Rees reports.
With tension still high in the area, Police Chief of Operations ACP Abdul Khan says they will also speak with youth from Nabua village along Sukanaivalu Road.
We had a very fruitful meeting with the youths and also the Wakatao and other people that were present in there. I believe there will be good sense will prevail, and then now we'll have to look at the youths down at Nabua as well and discuss with them.
When questioned on what may have been the cause of the fight, ACP Khan says it appears to be a small issue that got out of hand.
The causes were not real major issues, but it was trivial. But the way it was taken in, like I said in the media release yesterday as well, they should not be taking law into their own hand. And we have advised them if there be anything that they see that should be reported to the police, and police has to investigate, please. Our doors are open. They need to come to us. They need to report the matter, and we need to investigate the matter rather than taking it in their own hands.
The lay preacher of Wakatawa here at the community along Mid Road, Devita Lakavaka, says they have youth initiatives and programs in place to engage their young people instead of having them commit criminal activity.
We are optimistic that things will change following what happened. There will be some initial challenges, then progress and cooperation will emerge. As these youth are our future leaders, we can afford to continue undermining them.
FBC News has been told that a number of these brawls or minor scuffles are instigated by people who live outside Nabua. A heightened police presence will be maintained with a special response unit deployed to Nabua. Lena Rees, FBC News.
110 Fijian peacekeepers in 2 missions overseas have tested positive for COVID-19. Commander of the Republic of Fiji Military Forces, Rear Admiral William Naupoto, says they're all receiving treatment and will be allowed to complete their deployment once they recover. 90 troops in Iraq and 20 in Sinai have tested positive, have had to be quarantined. Lena Rees has more.
About 41 peacekeepers in Iraq have almost completed their isolation period and are about to return to active duty.
But they do antigen tests on our troops in Iraq. And out of the 162, 90 were found to be positive. And the way our troops and the UN have reacted is that we treat those that are tested positive as if they were tested with PCR, so they go through the usual isolation quarantine.
Responding to reports of a soldier having died due to COVID-19, Rear Admiral Naupoto says the RFMF is awaiting confirmation on the cause of death.
That's the information we got initially, that it was not COVID related. But again, they have to do the autopsy and everything that is required over there. And then we will find out for sure. Yes.
The RFMF has confirmed deployments will continue with all personnel receiving the necessary vaccine pre-departure and upon arrival at their mission stations. Authorities here have also assured the containment measures in Fiji are working.
In Fiji we've done well because our measures are still strict and it's been this long. Where we are right now is an effort, is a nation effort, not just Ministry of Health and those at the front line, but we owe it to also the community who've played their part.
476 Fijians are deployed in 6 missions. There have been 2 troop rotations conducted during the pandemic. Lena Rees, FBC News.
Ratu Kandavu Lebu Schools Parent-Teacher Association is working with psychologists, law firms and other stakeholders to address bullying. PTA President Chovesa Korobulubula says they've identified the different age groups of students and are conducting workshops. RKS has repeatedly been in the spotlight for bullying.
The PTA has mapped out a step-by-step plan to curb bullying.
We have to tell them that within the society there are rules and regulations that are banded by them. So that's what we are saying. We are positive. We are positive that we cannot stop it, but at least we can try to solve bully cases in school.
Korovula says they are working with old scholars to teach students from different backgrounds how to live in boarding schools.
We are trying to tell them that when they are school, they are like brothers. And secondly, they come from different family backgrounds, the different teachings that they were taught in their families. So, yes, that's what we are doing now.
RKS Old Boys President Alifereti Yaya says from next year they will be stricter with the intakes.
The old scholars plays an important role in new intakes every year. So what we'll do now, streamline that one, just to try and cut down on bullying.
The Ministry of Education will be meeting with all government boarding school heads to address bullying. Minister Rosie Akbar had earlier highlighted that they provide counseling to students involved while also strengthening some of their policies. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Dredging has begun in the Nadi River to put an end to flooding. The work is being carried out by Dredging Solutions, which started excavating on Friday. Philippe Nakaso has more.
Over the next year, dredging will run for 9 kilometers, beginning from where the Namaka and Nadi Rivers merge.
This is a long time. People in Nigeria are waiting for the dredging because of the flood in Nadi. It's cost money to the government about the flood in Nadi.
Dredging Solutions applied for the contract with the Ministry of Waterways, and following necessary environmental approvals, the company will only dig at a depth of 2.5 meters.
We will help Nadi Town, Nawaka, Busania, Ratambu and all those places for flooding. And we will help because if the government is still allowed to giving us approval next year to dredge again the river.
And I know this will be one way in reducing the effects of a flood for the Nadi area, especially for the villages around the rivers. And we are so thankful that this thing has come to reality.
They're also planning to employ a few locals from the nearby villages during the dredging process. Philippe Naikaso, FBC News.
Up ahead, vendors adapt to new normal. And Holi celebrations a big hit.
मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
The willingness to make do with whatever resources they have has strengthened the resilience of Levuka market vendors. FBC News visited the market and saw how vendors have conformed to the new normal to ensure their businesses stay afloat. Details with Chosaina Nunga.
The smile on their faces says it all, sharing this limited market space to ensure everyone who travels from different parts of Ovalau and Lomaiviti gets to sell their produce.
We are thankful that at least a temporary space has been allocated for us to sell our produce.
I've been a middleman for decades. Business is slowly bouncing back, as most farms here in Ovalau were badly affected by the recent cyclones.
Apart from selling the usual agricultural products, a vendor has started a new business.
This is my third time in Levuka. So the first time in Levuka, I could see the demanding of people because there's no one here sells the perfumes.
Levuka Town Council Chief Executive Josese Rakuita has confirmed that they've registered over 300 people who sell in tents provided by the UN Women along Beach Street.
Structural engineers are working on it. Soon we will advertise for the construction company to start the rebuilding, the construction of the new market.
Relevant arms of government have been consulted about the construction of a new market that will not only uplift the image of Levuka but maintain the authenticity of this historical town. Accommodation centers will also be provided for women vendors who travel all the way from Ngau, Mbetiki, Nairai and Moturiki when they come to sell their produce here in Levuka town. Jose Nunga, FBC News.
School children from Nabua village in Nabua and the nearby settlements have been provided new uniforms thanks to the Fijian Broadcasting Corporation's Care Committee. The donation of the uniforms is done as part of efforts to assist in the rehabilitation of homes and families affected by TCIASA. Elinor Turangaivu has more.
Nabua village was one of the many communities in Nabua that was severely affected by tropical cyclone Yasa last December.
When the cyclone left us, we had to start all over again. Whatever we had bought for our children for the new school year was gone in the cyclone. The uniform and books, everything.
An appeal aimed at rebuilding a resilient Nabua was then created. This got the attention of the Fijian Broadcasting Corporation's Care Committee.
Eventually we'll explore through the committee, we'll look at other ways and mechanisms by which we should be able to assist the kids out there.
The children could not contain their joy when they received their new uniforms in the village.
Thank you for lending a helping hand. On behalf of the parents and the people of Nabua, have received the gift of uniforms from FBC and have been honored to give it to the children. Thank you, FBC, for thinking of our children, the future of Nabua.
There are roughly over 60 school children in Nabua village, 6 in secondary school and the others in primary education. Elinor Turangaivu, FBC News.
Fijians turned up in numbers to celebrate Holi, the festival of colors at Demora City in Suva. For many, the Fijian Broadcasting Corporation's Mirchi FM and Radio Fiji 2 non-stop Holi Musti was the perfect platform to relieve some stress. Kritika Kumar reports.
A fun-filled atmosphere filled with colors and dance to mark the Holi festival.
It's simply amazing. After COVID-19, people are coming in and then having a good time. It's a release for them. And everyone is just having a good time.
It was a very good experience. I came all the way from Nadi and looking forward for this event next year.
Holi has become a common festival among Fijians, and the annual event was packed with a variety of activities, including folk songs and dances by cultural groups. The purpose of yesterday's event was to bring together Fijians of all backgrounds.
The entire purpose of this event was to bring Fijians of all backgrounds together to come and celebrate Holi in togetherness, something which reflects the true Fijian spirit.
Holi signifies the victory of good over evil and is celebrated to spread love and happiness. This is exactly what was witnessed yesterday. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
It is never too late to return to the village and make use of the land to turn that dream into a reality. This is the key to success for Tebita Kotoila Kemba, a prominent farmer at Viro village in Ovalau, who has been earning thousands from his Yangona and Dalo harvest. Jose Nunga with tonight's success story.
This week, FBC News travels to Viro village, a 30-minute drive from the old capital Levuka, to meet Tevita Kutuela Kemba, who left his job in the city to become a full-time farmer.
I graduated with my diploma in automotive and engineering in 2006. I was selected to act in the position of technician and tutorial assistant at FIT. A year later, I left and joined LTA for 3 years before moving back to Levuka and worked for PEFCO for at least 2 years.
Since starting his farm in 2014, Kotoila Kemba has planted hundreds of Yangona plants on the hills of Viro and couldn't dream of the earnings he is making. He's also invested in Yasi, or sandalwood.
While working at PEFCO, I saw how village youth invest in kaba farming, and they can earn over $1,000 a week. I was motivated by a youth member to partake in this activity. Hence, I resigned from work and I took up commercial agriculture, which is way better than working in offices and factories.
From office work to swinging the knife on the farm, Kotoila Kamba is enjoying his time and has no regrets about leaving the hustle and bustle of city life.
I start off the day at 6 a.m. with breakfast, and I make it my business daily to reach the farm before 8. I strictly monitor my daily schedule. I ensure no time is left wasted. I finish my work at around 4 p.m. to ensure I spend the rest of the afternoon with the people at home and the village.
The 43-year-old says being a farmer requires commitment and dedication, but for jobless youth in urban centers, returning to the village and tilling the land is the best solution.
If anyone wants to thrive in this business, he or she must be a disciplined person and remain committed. Especially during these trying times, Solibaki and commercial agriculture is critical among youth to ensure they earn money.
Kotoila Kamba collects thousands of dollars a month from Ngona sales alone, topped up by Ndaulo sales. The money is enough to meet his family's need and put a little aside for a rainy day. Chosayena Nunga, FBC News.
Bula, ang gono ilutoka butalita ka ng Bula FM bertini nambang 2 NSR.
Bula FM nambang 2 NSR.
Members of the 2016 gold medal winning Sevens team have shared some insight into how they secured the historic win in Rio de Janeiro. Former Sevens rep Vetamo Rabobo says coach Gareth Baber has a formidable team, but there are still some areas that need ironing out before the Tokyo Games in July. Karolaini Tabi reports.
And here comes the first score.
Sharing his gold medal winning experience and comparing it to the style of play now, playmaker Vatemo Rabobo says the key to winning restarts is communication.
Retaining the ball during kickoff is crucial for the team to maintain possession. It is all about communication. Once they have the ball, they will need to put a strong defense and they will be able to score tries.
Too wide.
Regarded as the king of offloads, Pio Tuwai believes if the forwards can master how to retain the ball during kickoffs, they will be unstoppable.
Forwards will need to step up. During our time, there were some who mastered the technique of ball retention during kickoff like Chasa, Katunimbao and Nakarawa. That is something that is lacking in the team.
For Rabobo, there is still a passion to represent Fiji in the Olympic Games once again.
I'm ready to represent Fiji if called, but in the meantime, I would like to wish the team the best as they prepare the Tokyo Games.
Here comes Jerry Tuwai.
The only member of the 2016 gold medal winning team that is still part of the squad is Jerry Tuwai, who is the captain of the national sevens team. Karleni Tavi, FBC Sports.
Ba has been crowned the winner of the Digicel Fiji Muslim League Inter-District Championship. The men in black outclassed a strong Nabua outfit 2-0 in the final today at Prince Charles Park in Nadi. Ba's Moshim Khan was the star of the match, scoring both goals to help give his side the win. Khan opened the scoring in the first half to give Ba a 1-0 lead. The police officer added another in the second half to seal the win. Ba coach Timothy Seru says they had depth in their squad, which helped secure them the win.
We managed to win just because of the fitness level and the experience we had in the team.
Coming into the Cricket Fiji Easter Championship with almost no support has not hindered the Namuka Lau team's plan to come out on top. The team, made up of youth from the village in Lau, is part of the 2-week-long tournament at Albert Park in Suva. Caroline Tavi with the details.
Putting together a team for the Easter Championship was hard for officials, but they managed to pull through.
We are much younger side compared to the other participating teams, and with the lack of support, we have been finding it hard to put a team together for this tournament.
Competing against some of the household names in local cricket has been an overwhelming experience for the Namuka team.
This has been a good learning experience for us. Competing with some of the big names in cricket like Suva and Mode, we still need a lot of work to reach that level.
Coach Mbale Dakadaka is calling on Cricket Fiji to hold more coaching clinics and programs in the islands to help revive the sport.
Like other teams, we have no one who has played international level competition. We are calling on Cricket Fiji if they can send at least coach and official to Namuka.
Namuka is currently in 5th place in the championship with 6 points. It secured 3 losses and a win at the end of week 1. Caroline Tavi, FBC Sports.
The Queensland Reds have regained their lead in the Super Rugby AU with a 44-19 win over the Rebels last night. The Reds remain unbeaten after round 6 with 28 points, while the Brumbies are second after a thrilling win against the New South Wales Waratahs on Friday. The Raiders produced a stirring defence performance to beat the Titans 24 at Netstrata Jubilee Stadium last night. This is the Canberra-based side third game win in 4 outings this season, crossing the line only 3 times, but managed to limit the Titans to 1 try as Ricky Stewart's men cruised to a comfortable victory. West Brom has ended Chelsea's 14-match unbeaten streak after a 5-2 win over the Blues last night. Mateus Pereira and Callum Robinson scored twice as struggling West Brom overwhelmed 10-man Chelsea at Stafford Bridge. Mostly cloudy conditions with some showers was experienced over Viti Levu, Isawa and Mamanu Group and the Eastern Division. Fine weather prevailed elsewhere. In the west, cloudy conditions lasted most of the day. There may be some showers later tonight. From Pacific Harbour to Suva, expect similar conditions. And in the north, no major change from the rest of the country. At sea, for southwest Vitilevu waters, Kandavu and Watoira Passage, Korosi and Lau waters, southeast winds 20 to 25 knots. Rough seas, moderate southerly swells. High tide is at 1:32 a.m. tomorrow, followed by low tide at 7:12 a.m. Sunrise is at 6:17. For tomorrow, find apart from isolated afternoon or evening showers. And the outlook for Tuesday, some showers over the southeastern parts and interior of the Vitilevu and Bonolevu, brief showers over the eastern division. Recapping our main stories. Tension high in Nabua following brawl. RKS administrators to address bullying and Nadi River dredging begins. These stories and others you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question, this week we are asking, should national teams be allowed to participate in domestic sevens tournaments? Visit our FBC website to answer. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos by email to fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our various social media accounts, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's your news for this evening. Until tomorrow, take care and Madamanda.
Hi, I'm Ini from Raki Raki. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.